Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Global Money News Review. My name is always Ola, and on this channel, we explain personal finance, investment, and the economy in simple English. If you haven't already, please stick around. Stick around, and you will learn a whole lot about your finances and possibly take action, right? So let's get on with it. Every week we have these sessions where we discuss global news, African news, and sorry, let me do that. Global news, African news, and Nigerian news. Yes, and so we'll go right into it. On the global news side of things, right? Something interesting that came out of the global news is the fact that uh, favorite President Trump announced that there should be a cut in what's it called, drug prices, some basic drugs that people have to buy, medication that people have to buy. And what's his idea? His idea or his plan is to bring down inflation through executive orders. Yeah. But what's the real backstory here? The backstory is that if you've ever tried to engage in healthcare globally, you would agree with me that everybody knows that US Medicare is the most expensive in the world. Like if you have international healthcare and you want to do, they have different classifications. There is everywhere, rest of the world, and then there's rest of the world plus US. I put it to you that if your premium is, let's say, 2K for US, for rest of the world, your premium to add US to that mix is going to be like maybe 3,700, 3,800, almost times two. Why? Because healthcare in America is very expensive. Medication, access to healthcare, everything very expensive in America, right? So what is President Trump trying to do? He's saying that you big pharma companies, you guys need to bring down your prices, right? And then or else we would allow people start importing this same medication from other countries. That's what he's saying. Now it's a threat, right? But he does have the power to do that. I mean, he does have the power to, or he probably has the power. We might need to dig deeper to actually like allow them bring in these same medications from other countries, because in some comparison it's like almost twice the price of other countries, Europe, Canada, for example. Now what happened? The stock market, first of all, everybody rallied. Oh my goodness, big pharma prices came down, blah blah blah. But then after a while, they now stopped and they thought about it that really, can this guy actually do this thing? We don't think so. So let's go back to where we were before. So that's literally what happened in the stock market. But in the long term, what are we thinking? The fact is, President Trump has his eyes on big pharma and the regular medication. So, from an investor perspective, you need to tread carefully because more likely than not, there will be changes. Where they end up landing in the negotiation, blah, 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 we can't say, but there will be changes. And hopefully, in this particular situation, the changes will be of benefit to the consumer, right? The local resident in America, right? But for you as an investor, like he can't change anything overnight. They will go to court. There will be a lot of back and forth, right? But you have to keep an eye on it if you are an investor in big pharma, because generally they are seen as cash cows, because people would always need to buy and they are well positioned. If you get what I mean, people would always need to buy medication, if you understand what I mean. Now, off to the next news in the US, out of the US. America secures that President Trump secures 600 billion in investment commitment from Saudi Arabia, right? So now, why am I highlighting it? Okay, the deal includes defense tech, aerospace parts. America just got a plane gift. That was a little controversial from Qatar. There's all that. But why am I highlighting it from an investor perspective? Because a lot of times we follow the headlines hook, line, and sinker. And it makes us afraid and makes us pull back and not do anything. But you see, this guy that appeared to be fighting with the world, that like if you ask based on headlines what is happening, you would say America is fighting with the world. But this is the same guy that just got 600 billion. $600 billion is a lot of money. Even in America, it's a lot of money. Like it's a lot of money. This is the same guy that's getting these things from these people that he appears to be fighting. There's bricks, there's this. But just understand. that the thing that moves the world around is value and exchange of value. So even if we appear to be enemies, except if there's some bloodline drama, some regions have those kind of things. If it's just about money, whatever works for the both of us, we will do. So I want us to have that mindset when we are looking at the headlines. Beyond the headlines, look behind it. What is the negotiation? What is the trade? What is the whatever, right? Because I have met people who, because of the whole noise, tariff, there's new President Trump, blah, 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 they are scared to invest. I'm like, no, in the midst of this noise, this is when you should be investing, right? So be guided. Don't just take the headlines. Understand that the headlines are driven by newspapers or news companies, news houses, whatever they're called, media houses, that's the English, and they are trying to sell markets. So they want to use the most sensational headline and they want to keep reinforcing it so that you keep hooked on it and you stay with them. Understand that everybody has their own stake or benefit or whatever in this. So when you are seeing the headlines, beyond the headlines, dig a little deeper, critique a little bit more, analyze a little bit more. And if you can't, like, join our newsletter service or sign up, or listen to these sessions that we have here. Why? Because it broadens your mind and makes you not focus on the newspaper people who are just trying to make money. Hope that's clear. Hi, Judisco. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. And I see Iolua also. Good morning, everyone. Shout out to you. Oh, and at this point, maybe I should also shout out to, let me see if I have it set up. We had some people that dropped comments on our previous sessions, our previous YouTube videos, right? Asking questions. So shout out to Ada Ozo and Oladimeji Salau, right, for just connecting with us on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, please drop a comment, ask a question. We're always open to engage with you. Thank you. So moving on to Africa news. Now, I found this one quite interesting and also quite exciting. A few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think, we talked about the fact that United Nations was moving lots of their staff from Geneva, from New York to Nairobi. And then I see this in the news again that a Dangote backed fund, so it's not just Dangote that backs the fund, but it's Dangote that we chose to see the bride of Nigeria right now and our fuel price, right? So they just invested in one of the oldest tourist or tour companies in Nairobi, in Kenya, right? They spread across the country, it's not just Nairobi, right? Now, why did I highlight this? See, no country has it all good 100%. Kenya had issues. Let me not say had issues, had challenges, or it took a lot for them to pay down their last euro bond, right? They did a refinancing for a portion of it, and then they had to take from the IMF for the balance. Now, understand that if you borrow something from someone for 7 years, for example, the idea is that you're not supposed to wait until year seven to start gathering the money to pay them back. All things being equal, there should have been a sinking fund. That's the standard thing. You have a sinking fund where every year you provide, if you're supposed to pay 7 million, every year you drop 1 million in that account so that by the time it is done, you've gathered the money and you are ready to pay, right? But what you find is that for a lot of countries, they just refinance. In America, when I say refinance, they'll borrow for one person to pay the other. In America, when you hear of government shutdown, is that they need to borrow more or else they won't be able to pay their obligations, right? That rules the world. No country is perfect. Every country has its ills. But the idea is that you look at where there are opportunities and you plug in. Now, with all the news around Nairobi, Kenya, right? Actually, the country Kenya, that we have been getting, it just shows that these guys are positioning themselves. Their PR is working. Their PR is working such that if people are bringing big money, top dollar into tourism, it tells you that they have strategically looked at this country and they are saying that this is where they should be going. The question is, what have you looked at and where, with your own small money, can you go into? I'm excited to say that even in the club, we have investments in Nairobi, Kenya, that would speak to this tourism. Why? Because people have bought properties, right? And maybe this is a good time to also announce that the club, we're taking new members in the club, right? The Money with Club. The Money with Club is the club I'm talking about. Our logo is up there. Oh, and I'm wearing the shirt. I'm not sure it will show. But yeah, we talk and we take action. That's the most important thing. So all these things that you see around you as news, the question is, what can you plug into? Who can you fund an Uber for? Because it will be affected. There'll be demand for everything that has to do with tourism as the country grows. That's how you think. So you don't need to think on a Dangote level, because how many companies can you buy, right? Or maybe you can. But if you can't, what can you do? Who do you know that is in Nairobi that wants to start a food business? Do you understand? Or wants to start a shared business? Or if you're a Nigerian and you know someone that wants to start a Nigerian food something, how can you be a part of it? That is the way to think. Why? Because number one, fortune favors the brave. Number two, somebody will do it. Why not you? Right? And the second news out of Africa, right? This one was a little interesting. It was that Egypt's Suez Canal, I'm not sure if that's the pronunciation, right? Is offering 15% discount for big container ships to win back trade. So what happened? Like if you remember, like 2-3 years ago, if not four, there was some drama around the Suez Canal, where a ship got stuck. It's a pathway, it's a winding pathway, and a ship got stuck, and then it took months to get it out of the way, and there was a massive problem around the world. Why? Because a lot of ships pass that route, and it connects a lot of countries. Now what has happened, apparently in the past 1 to 2 years, there has been an issue, where Yemen fighters, Yemen rebels, what think they're called Houthis, have been attacking ships that pass that area, such that a lot of ships rerouted, because it's supposed to be a shorter route, but they rerouted to avoid that. And then those that decide to pass that route, their insurance premium is on steroids. So what are they saying? They're basically saying that, if you want to pass, if you come through this route, right, we'll give you a 15% discount over the fees that you should pay, right, to encourage people to come back. Why? Because their revenue has dropped significantly. What am I highlighting here? You see some of the things that you see where, let's say a ship that would have gone through this, I'm not sure the pronunciation, but the Suez Canal, right? Would have gone through and be faster, maybe to take them 1 week randomly. Now they have to go through a longer route and it's taking them 3 weeks. That will go into the price of that thing. Now, if you get hit by the rebels and then insurance has to step in, your next premium is going to be higher. You understand? So that will go into the price the shippers will give the people exporting, and the exporters would price it and transfer to you. That's how these things happen, right? So I want us to understand trade. Why? Because trade affects us, affects your pocket, affects your economy, affects your own buying decisions, right? And it's also interesting to see how security can be a thing. And I mean, if you are in Nigeria, right, you will know that security is a thing and it impacts the economy directly. So hopefully, the shippers will take the offer. Hopefully things will get better. Oh, I think apart from that, also, I think there was an agreement with the US, which was the interesting part. The rebels were attacking ships going through that line because they were fighting. The US was doing something or the other. So it's actually quite an interesting story. You could check it up. And then they had a negotiation with US to stop doing what they were doing so that, there can be peace in the region. Yeah, quite interesting stuff. Okay, and I think I've mentioned that, these sessions are powered by the Money with Club. This is the Money with Club, and we are taking on new members. So I think before I go to the last what's it called? Last news, I would share a testimonial for those that haven't joined the club yet. So you can hear about the club.
Hey everyone, my name is Napa Musa, and I am a proud member of the Money with Club. I joined the club a little over a year ago, and at the time I joined, my goodness, like my knowledge of investing and where to put money and how to manage money and make money grow was limited. But when I entered the club, I was really eager to learn. Little did I know that would be one of the best decisions I would have made about my money. But the great thing about being part of the club is everybody, and I mean everybody, is very open to sharing what they know. So if you fast forward to today, I can proudly say my understanding of investments has grown tremendously. And it doesn't hurt that I've started getting a lot of alerts into my investment account, and I never used to. So I have a diverse set of investments. I have a really good portfolio that spans across real estate to creative materials like art and movies movies, and I also have a very secure kind of investment portfolio. So I am much stronger in what I want to invest, understanding where I want to invest and how I want to invest. So being more strategic around my money is something I've definitely learned from the club. I can't lie, I really do like the interesting investments that come to our table, from movies to real estate. Really nice to see the different types of investments, and then also VC, startup funding as well. So that's really nice. And I've made some great friends in the club. In fact, in other parts of my life, I've collaborated with other members of the club, so that has been pretty amazing. One of my most memorable experiences in the club. So I left the club, and during the time I left the club, there was a very interesting investment that came the way of the club, and because I had left, I wasn't part of it. I joined again after 3 months, and that investment, the returns, I think it was 8 times what people invested. And this isn't a normal occurrence at all, because we all know that if you want to become a millionaire or you want to become rich, your wealth should grow in a very slow and sustainable manner. That is my most memorable experience, and it's not a very good experience. So, in conclusion, being part of the Moneyweight Club has really been an incredible ride. From a novice investor to someone who is continually growing, evolving in the financial world, I owe a big part of my journey to this amazing community. So, if you're thinking about joining an investment club, I highly recommend the Moneyweight Club. The collective wisdom and support, it really makes a world of difference, and you're able to share a lot of experiences and ask so many questions, and as you grow and really build your network and your community. So I hope to see you soon.
So yes, we're taking on new members. If you haven't already joined us, please do. We're taking on new members. You can scan the barcode, and we are generally not open, so we're taking on new members because we can accommodate some people right now, and we'll be closing that out tomorrow. So, if you've been watching us on the sidelines, and you're already on the wait list, you've already gotten an email to that effect. But it closes tomorrow. Thank you so much for that. And then also, while we're at it, we might as well shout out on our book of the year, of the month, right? The Richest Man in Babylon. So please check that out. Also, it's right there. Book of the month, Richest Man in Babylon. And so we move on to the final news of the day. That is Nigeria news. Oh, of course, all the links will be in the description just in case you missed it. Right. So Nigeria unveils a diaspora BVN platform, and targets 1 billion monthly in remittances. Now, what is this one about? If you remember, like in like January, they announced that they are going to have non-resident bank accounts. And then it could be in naira, it could be in dollar, to allow people have access, right? So this is for Nigerians that do not live in the country, right? Diasporas, whatever the word is, right? So the idea is that you would have access to the financial services in Nigeria. You can invest directly. You can what's called, yeah, invest. I think that's a major catch. Invest. You can transfer funds, remittances, all those things, right? Now, after they set that up, the fact is that a lot of Nigerians outside the country do not have BVN. Why? Because it is difficult to get. You have to travel, blah blah blah. So after they first pushed that out, they are now trying to set it up, like implement. In the process of implementation, you hit roadblocks and you see the gaps. And so they have created a system where you can set up your BVN wherever you are in the world. Right now, that is amazing. That is actual economic infrastructure that supports growth. So big up to the central bank and NIBS on this. Now, what does this mean for you as a non-resident Nigerian? It means that once you set up your BVN, you can have your bank account. You can use it for anything, right? Now, when you now think about open banking that we talked about last week, I mean, go and check out last week's news review, and you just realize that things are actually coming together, which is why I said, yes, there's headlines, yes, there's all those things, but you actually have to read between the lines and see the progress being made, and think of how you can benefit from it, take advantage of it, and not just look at everything with disdain. Very, very important. Extremely, extremely important. So, yes, so with this, the central bank is saying that they'll be able to get, I mean, based on the data, they can tell how much people generally tend to transfer to their family members. And they're assuming that if they create a better platform between investment opportunities and actual transfer to family members and support, they will be able to get $1 billion every month. We don't know how they arrived at that number, but we just know for a fact that it will actually make things easier, right? But my final conclusion is that whilst you can do this, there is still that place where for you to wire to that Nigerian bank. People outside Nigeria don't use as much cash as we do here. So for you to actually access that Nigerian bank, your bank, wherever you are banking and any your salary needs to agree to wire to that. And if you are still in the financial action task force gray list, where everybody would do major due diligence and flag you and blah 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 to transfer to everything that has to do with Nigeria, then we still have some work to do. So while we shout out to the central bank and NIPS for making this progress, there's still some work, and we hope that, based on their timeline and announcements, which they say that by October this year will be out of that list, things will be better. So to know what is happening or to understand what I'm talking about, move back like 5 years ago. Even if you were in the state, you're using Bank of America, you could transfer to Nigeria without issues. But now everybody's asking you for your grandmother's teeth, right? Why? Because we entered the list, and so compliance everywhere is flagging us, right? So for us to actually get these things up and running, apart from what the central bank is doing, which is laudable and its progress, there's some other things that need to be put in place. And the final thing I want to talk about is Sukuk. The federal government of Nigeria is offering for subscription the Sukuk bond. Now, what is Sukuk bond? It's an Islamic finance tool. Basically, for part of the laws in Islam is that you should not give people money in exchange for interest. So it needs to, so whenever they are investing, they need to structure in a way that would meet those requirements. So that's why there's the Sukuk bond. Now, what happens with Sukuk is that it is used to finance some certain projects. So if you are in Lagos, for example, the path between what's this place? Is it CMS? Is that CMS? Yes, from CMS to going into VI, you would see that that road has been done. It was funded by Sukuk. Going all the way into Amadu Bello is a Sukuk project, right? That's what they do. So they have specific projects that are under that under this funding, right? And so and then it's open to everyone. It's not just for Muslims. It's open to everyone. Why? Because you get your money back, right? And the return, it's open, the offer is open to the 21st. The return you will get is 19.75% per annum for the next 7 years. Now, so that you understand it, if you put 1 million, it means that you'll be getting 900K, 975K every year from them. That's a 975K. No, not 975K. If you put 1 million, we're getting 97,500. Yes. So that's about, no, 197,500. Sorry. 197,500. That's what you will get every year from the government. Now, it doesn't, might not look so good until you put 100 million and you're getting 90 million, right? That's actually a good return. So if you are looking for another investment opportunity, now the good thing is that you can buy through your stockbroker, right? What I mean by your stockbroker, you can fill the form and send to your stockbroker to submit for you and transfer to them, right? And then they would credit your CSS account. That means your stockbroking account. So you would see it along with your other stocks, right? That's how to do it. If you have any questions around this, please feel free to drop in the comments. I'll be sure to respond. But I highly recommend, you'll see a lot of noise about it, and don't worry, it's not just noise. It's a good opportunity for you to invest. And even if you have like the bigger sums where like 100 million, 200 million type thing, you can actually invest and you will get your returns, right? It's really good. And so that's all for this week. Don't forget that you can't outsource your health and your finances. You always have to engage. So the essence of these sessions is for us to make it as simple as possible for you to actually understand. Because a lot of people, the struggle is I don't really get what's happening. Like, and then I have life to live, right? So this is what we do here. And so if you found this useful, please share with a friend. Please take action. You're welcome to join the club. You're welcome to tell your friends about the club. And at the minimum, read our book for the month. You can scan the barcode on the screen or you can check it out in the description. Thank you and have a beautiful rest of the weekend. Bye.